Welcome to Fake Love and Flying Monkeys, the podcast where fake love is exposed. I'm Nova Gibson and I am your host. I'm the principal counsellor at Brighter Outlook Narcissistic Abuse Counselling.com.au. This space is dedicated to helping you reclaim your worth and understand the impact of toxic relationships with suspected narcissists. You deserve clarity, healing, and freedom from the pain of fake love and flying monkeys. So please leave a review and grab a copy of my book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. Let's uncover the truth and take back your power. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. So, you've been dating someone. They seem perfect at first, charming, confident, maybe even a little mysterious. But now things feel off. 1 minute you are on your own personal cloud nine, it feels like. And the next, you are second guessing everything. Does this sound familiar? Well, if you're constantly wondering, is it me or is there something seriously wrong here? If you're confused and you don't know whether they're being serious or whether they're having a go at you and you don't know whether to say anything or not, if you are basically walking on eggshells this early on in the relationship, then you might be dating a narcissist. So in this episode, we are going to be breaking down 10 classic signs that you're dealing with one. Now, remembering, guys, there is no blood test here that you can do to diagnose someone definitively, but it's about looking for patterns of behavior, trusting your instincts, and in the end, if they're toxic and you do not feel emotionally safe with this person, then that's a good enough reason to get out without having the label of narcissist. And I'm going to be looking at these classic signs that you perhaps are dealing with a narcissist in real, everyday layman's terms. No psychology degree required, no psychological jargon going on here, just honesty and asking you to trust your instincts, trust your gut. And along the way, I might just challenge you just a little bit with a sprinkling of tough love. Number one, they come on way too strong. I mean, love bombing central. And you know, at first it was like a dream. They seem to be obsessed with you in a really flattering way. You never felt this good before. Texts all day, compliments flying left, right, and center. And of course, they talk about how different you are from anyone they've ever met, hand on forehead. Sounds romantic. Yep. And it is until it's not. Example. Jill met Jack, and within the first week, he told her she was the most incredible woman he had ever known. He sent gifts. He planned trips, future faking. He talked about marriage all before they even hit the 1 month mark. He told her he loved her after 1 week. And later, she realized that she barely knew him and he really didn't know her either. And what's toxic about this? Well, it's love bombing, and narcissists use it to hook you in fast before you see the person that they really are. It's about control, not connection. Number two, they make everything about themselves. Have you ever tried to tell them a story and suddenly the conversation just flips magically straight back on to them? Your wins, they're dismissed. Your struggles, somehow it's still about them. So let me think of an example. Okay, so Anne got a promotion at work and she was super excited to share it with her boyfriend, Jake. His response? Well, that reminds me of when I crushed that project last year. No, congratulations. Just this little tunnel into his own greatness. So the bottom line when they're doing this is that narcissists need to be the center of attention always. Your life is just about background noise to their main event. And if you approach them to talk about anything that's going on in your life, in a heartbeat virtually, you will be talking about them and their experience that relates perhaps to what you were trying to discuss, or maybe even has nothing to do with it. And your need for a discussion or the topic of your discussion, gone. Number 3, they don't really feel your feelings because they have no empathy. When you cry, they look annoyed or bewildered. When you're anxious, they call you dramatic. Basically, they just don't get it, or they do get it, but they just don't care. An example, your dog perhaps passed away and your possibly narcissistic boyfriend shrugs and says, well, it's just a pet. You'll get over it. We'll get another one. And that kind of emotional coldness is just so typical with narcissists. Like you can just replace your fur baby the next day, like they replace their victims. Why does this matter? Well, it matters because empathy is the glue in any healthy relationship. Narcissists don't have it, or they fake it when it benefits them. Number 4, they twist everything you say into a virtual pretzel. Gaslighting 101. So you bring up something that upsets you and suddenly you're too sensitive or you're making things up. They deny things they clearly did or said. And after a while, you start questioning your own memory. This is what gaslighting does, guys. It's brainwashing. It changes the way you think and the way you perceive things. So, an example, Sarah, the female narcissist, tells Ben, her partner, that he is so lucky that she puts up with him and all of his moods. When he calls her out later, she says, I never said that. You're imagining things. He started even recording conversations just to prove to himself that he wasn't going crazy. By the way, guys, if you find yourself recording their conversations to prove to yourself that you're not crazy and also to prove to them that they said what you know they said, then that is the biggest red flag that you are in a toxic relationship. So heads up, guys, gaslighting is abuse. It is torturous emotional abuse. It's designed to make you doubt yourself so they stay in control. Number 5, they're hot and cold, like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You never know which person's going to walk through the front door. One day, they're the sweetest partner on earth. The next day, they're cold and distant, mean, nasty, and you never know what you're going to get. It's like emotional whiplash. Now, let's look at an example. Okay, so Jodi's boyfriend would be super affectionate and attentive one week, but then he'd disappear for days or even weeks on end with no explanation whatsoever. She was walking on eggshells, wondering what she had done when he'd come back. And when he did come back, he would act like nothing happened. She was always treading on those eggshells, desperate to get the good boyfriend back. And this up and down behavior, guys, is addictive, just like gambling. Narcissists know this and they use it to keep you chasing their approval or to get you to hang in there for long periods of time for the pleasure of their company when they come back from ghosting you and the silent treatment. And they know that they will be able to come back like nothing happened because of the relief you feel because that ghosting has ended and you daren't bring up what you originally wanted to talk about. Number 6, they don't ever take responsibility. They will never be accountable for their actions. It will always be someone else's fault. If they make a mess, they'll blame you, their ex, their boss, their dog, literally anyone but themselves. An example. So Josh, he cheats on his girlfriend. He said, well, you've been so distant lately. You didn't want to be intimate with me. So what do you expect? If you're not going to give it to me, I'm going to go elsewhere. It's your fault. So not an apology, not accountability, just blame shifting. And the reason this is so damaging is because healthy relationships need ownership and growth. Narcissists can't grow. They are stuck in that emotionally developmental stage of a 2 or 3-year-old where it's just me, and they have tantrums if they don't get what they want. They think that they can do no wrong. And of course, this is why they need to blame you. Number 7, they trash talk all of their exes. They always have a crazy ex, don't they? Or an ex who's still in love with them. They're either crazy or they're still in love, or both. So you hear story after story about these crazy exes and how they cheated on them and how horrible they were. Apparently, every single one was jealous, clingy, toxic, and or obsessed with them. They are such a wanted commodity. So, example, Sam tells his new girlfriend that his last 3 exes, they were psychotic. Later, she finds out that he had actually cheated on all of them and he had done exactly the same thing to them and put them through exactly the same cycle. He had ghosted every single one of them. Now, spoiler alert, guys, if all of their ex or all of their exes were the problem, guess who the actual problem might be? Number 8, they are super jealous or controlling. They literally freak out if you talk to someone of the opposite sex. They read your text. They accuse you of cheating because you decided to wear a little singlet one day or a tank top to the gym. It's not cute, guys. It's not flattering. This is about control. Example, Tammy's boyfriend insisted that she delete her Instagram because she's got too many guys who were liking her posts. So he was also telling her which friends she could hang out with. And this was not protection, guys. It was about power. He wanted to control who she spoke to, what platform of social media she was allowed on, if any, and certainly whether she was allowed to have any friends. And the truth is, guys, that narcissists often disguise control as caring. This is coercive control, and it starts under the guise of caring. But love does not feel suffocating. Love doesn't stalk your phone. Number 9, They make you feel small on purpose. It is intentional. They will mock your dreams, criticize your looks. They will belittle all of your hobbies, your passions, your interests. And sometimes it's subtle and sometimes it's absolutely brutal. Either way, it chips away at your confidence. And guys, if you remember back, you will most probably remember that the very things they mock are the very things that they told you they thought was so special about you in the beginning. But once they've hooked you in, they need to destroy those very qualities. So, example, Tim talks about him starting his own business, and his girlfriend would say, "Oh my goodness, you couldn't handle that kind of pressure." Well, he used to be really confident, and now he just second guesses everything. Now, you need to watch for this because they might disguise it as a joke or say, "Oh, you're too sensitive." Don't buy it, guys. Insults in disguise are still insults. And last but not least, number 10, you feel drained, confused, or anxious all the time. You used to feel happy, but now you're exhausted. You're constantly questioning yourself, tiptoeing around their moods and wondering what happened to the person you fell for. You're also wondering why you never felt this type of confusion and anxiety in any of your previous relationships. So, example, Emily started to journal. She just wanted to make sense of things. She started to put her thoughts on paper. And one day she looked back and she realized that her entries were filled. They were filled with anxiety, self-doubt, and confusion. And then it hit her. She wasn't the problem. He was. And a golden rule to remember, guys, is that if you feel worse about yourself in the relationship that you are in than you did before it started, then something is deeply wrong. So now what? Well, if you're nodding along to multiple signs on this list, then please take a deep breath. You are not crazy and you are not overreacting. Narcissistic relationships are emotionally exhausting. They are confusing for a reason, and that's because they're designed that way. So my final thoughts would be, guys, to trust your gut. Narcissists are wonderful actors. They often seem very charming, successful, even generous. But real love is not confusing. It's not manipulative. It is not emotionally draining. Real love feels safe on a consistent basis. So if your instincts are screaming at you that something is not right, then listen. You know yourself better than anyone, and you deserve a relationship that lifts you up, not tears you down. And that brings us to the end of another Fake Love and Flying Monkeys episode. Yes, guys, if you are seeing these behaviors on a consistent basis and you are feeling worse than you did before you met this person, time to get out. Please leave. Don't stay hoping that they will change and you'll get back the person that doesn't exist, that love bombed you in the beginning. Now, if you would like individual support in your healing journey from narcissistic abuse, then please see my website link in the description for an online Zoom counseling support session. And please grab your copy of my best-selling book, Fake Love, where you will also find a link for in the description. On that No, guys, it's bye from me for now. Until tomorrow's episode, please share and please give the podcast a rating and a review. That's the best thing you can do, and it puts it out there in the algorithm for other people to find. But until then, I will see you later, and please, guys, remember that you are worthy of love, and you are worthy of so much more than a lifetime of fake love and flying monkeys.